guys, I'm Eric.
I'm Grace. We're the Wandering Ravens.
We're a couple of Americans on a quest to learn everything we can about the UK, and today that journey is taking us through English accents. This video is part 2 in our Americans Reacting to British Accents series. Thank you so much to everyone who suggested these accents under last week's video. If you have accents that you want us to react to in the next video in the series, make sure that you comment those down below. Put the name of the accent as well as a video clip or a person that we can look up to use as an example of that accent.
First up, we are listening to Kevin Keegan and Louis Tomlinson for an example of the Doncaster accent.
But I'll tell you, you can tell him now, I'll be watching it, we're still fighting for this title, and he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something. I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
How is Louis Tomlinson? Yeah, I'm doing all right, thanks. I'm doing all right. In Doncaster, there was a school called Hayfield School. Went there for 90% of my school life.
All right, so what stands out to you about that accent?
He said me, 90% of me school life.
He
said that. I knew that some British people did this, but I had never seen anyone do it before.
90% of my school life,
Another thing that I noticed is that both of them pronounced TH as an F. The first guy, he said he's gonna go to Middlesbrough and get something.
And he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something.
And then the second guy said, I'm doing all right, thanks, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I'm doing all right, thanks.
Another thing I noticed was that he says love.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
He says it very differently. Instead of love, he says love.
With our accent is L-U-V, love. But it sounds like he's saying L-O-V, love.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Almost like a loaf of bread.
Next up, let's listen in on Jodie Whittaker and hear an example of the Huddersfield accent. Huddersfield?
Maybe.
It's not like you have to really generate anything. It's really devastating. The thought of it, the staging of it, it's all realistic. It is, you know, it's a film set. It's not, you know, it's not props.
One thing that stands out to me from this accent is that every time she says O, it's a very strong O. It's not. It pops out. The O's are popping out at you. It's not props.
It's not props.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, definitely.
It's really devastating.
The whole way that she pronounced the word devastating was different. It was devastating.
Devastating.
Another thing that stands out to me is that she seems to be saying her A's as E's. So when she says generate, instead of saying generate, she says generate.
It's not like you have to really generate.
And when she says staging, instead of staging, the way we would say it, she says staging. Staging with an E.
The staging of it,
So I think a couple indicative things of the Huddersfield accent that I would listen for if I was trying to figure out if someone was from here, just based off of this example, is how do their O's sound and do they say their A's as an E?
Next up, representing the Scouse accent, we are going to be listening to John Bishop and Jamie Carragher.
This is one we're really excited for because we have been told by so many people, you need to listen to the Liverpool accent, the Scouse accent, and so we're gonna dive in and listen to this and see if it is in fact different from other accents in the UK.
Oh no, this was before the book. Yeah, I got this the other week. Never had a piercing before.
What possessed you to have one now that you're 52?
I was there because I thought I'd be cool.
You know, Stevie's right, we want it to be a competitive game. And, you know, we're both desperate to win. He's picked the All-Stars, all the big heads, so it'll be interesting.
Wow, yeah, that was extremely different. I don't think I've ever heard that accent before in my life.
Yeah, I haven't heard this anywhere that I can think of.
All right, the way they pronounce K's, they pronounce it in the word book.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. Here, let's do the first guy.
Oh no, this was before the book. Yeah, I got this the other week.
The way he says book and week. Buch.
And week. It kind of just like trails off, like you didn't even bother to finish it with the K. You're just like book. Week.
Wow, that is interesting.
And, you know, we're both desperate to win.
Another observation, and I don't mean this to sound derogatory, it sounds a bit like they're talking with cotton in their mouths. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
even
maybe a wee bit.
The way they move their mouth, they have a very small mouth.
Oh no, this was before the book. Yeah, I got this the other week.
They're not talking in the front of their mouth. It's more like they're talking way down here.
This second guy, he said multiple things that I did not understand.
Oh yeah, there was a lot going over my head.
I was like, I don't know what he's talking about, what he's
the
saying.
The football guy.
Yeah.
You know, we're both desperate to win. He's picked the all-stars, all the big head.
We're both desperate to win.
Desperate to win.
Desperate to win.
Desperate to win. But it's the same thing where it sounds like he has things in his mouth. Mm-hmm. Probably a ton. This is making me really excited to visit Liverpool. I would love to talk to someone with a Scouse accent in person.
Also, the Beatles are from Liverpool, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so did the Beatles have these type of accents then?
Oh, that's true.
Because I've never seen an interview with any of them.
Same. I've never heard one of the Beatles talk.
So
only
I'm
sing.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, did they sound like these guys?
Next, let's take a stroll through Leeds by listening to Josh Warrington and Nicola Adams.
And then I thought to myself, bloody hell, cover's been blown, that's it. But gets into meeting room and Eddie wasn't there, so we're just composing ourselves. I thought, I'm gonna play hard to get you.
It's almost like behind the scenes footage. I mean, there's so many good stories like that on YouTube that you can see. Don't frown, you'll mess up my work of art. Get in all the creases. It's very important, you've got to get in the creases.
Okay, so from the first one, all I understood was, bloody hell, my cover's been blown. And then at the very end of that clip, he said that he was in there composing himself.
Yeah, I think that was actually more difficult to understand than the Scouse accents that we just heard.
Yeah, I think so, because it didn't sound altogether like English to me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there must be two different kinds of Leeds accents. And I know in the UK, every accent, when you zoom in on it, breaks off into different accents. And I think this is a good example of that. Both these people are from Leeds, but both of them have different accents. We can understand Nicola just fine. At least I could.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I could as well.
Yeah. But the first guy, Josh, yeah, like you said, every other word I didn't understand what he was saying. All right, I'll do it from the beginning.
And then I thought to myself, bloody hell.
And then I thought to myself, bloody hell.
Cover's been blown, that's it, but...
Cover's been blown, that's it, but...
Gets into meeting room.
Get us into meeting room, so he's telling the story.
And Eddie wasn't there, so...
And then he weren't there, so...
We're just composing ourselves, I thought.
We were just composing ourselves, and I thought...
I'm gonna play hard to get you.
I'm gonna play hard to get here.
Oh my gosh! Maybe?
I think I did it.
I wouldn't have been able to get all of that. Although, to be fair, last time you did think he said pucka when he said proper.
I still think he said pucka.
He said proper. I was right.
If you don't know what we're talking about, watch part 1.
And Eddie wasn't there, so...
It seems that he is using a lot more, I guess you could say, incorrect
grammar?
Incorrect grammar, yeah, and that he's saying weren't instead of wasn't, get instead of got.
Gets into meeting room and Eddie wasn't there, so...
His tenses are a bit mixed up, but she doesn't use any of that. So
yeah,
all of her grammar is correct.
It's almost like behind the scenes footage. I mean, there's so many good stories like that on YouTube.
So that's one difference between the two. Question for you guys, with these two Leeds accents, could you help us understand why they are so different even though they come from the same city? Does it have to do with neighborhood? Does it have to do with what school they went to? Educate us.
Next up, we are going to listen in on a couple of Somerset farmers to get a taste of the Somerset accent.
Like he said, he's done more than what I did, because he's lived up there. He didn't get bloody lot of way, boy.
No. They weren't going to anyway.
Wow. Just no words. I can't. That's
what I heard. No words.
No words. Of all the accents we've listened to so far, this is the wildest. Last video and this video too.
Like he said, he's done more than what I did, because he's lived up there. He didn't get bloody lot of way, boy.
No. They weren't going to anyway.
They are speaking English, right?
Okay, so Somerset, I'm pretty sure that's the county, one of those counties down in the south, where they say that they talk in a piratey voice. I've never heard the accent myself though, so I'm wondering if this is it. This is fascinating. I know enough of this to say I can't make any observations.
I have no observations because I
don't understand what they're saying.
Don't understand any of it.
So, question for you guys, if you're British, can you understand what they're saying? This is literally that scene from Hot Fuzz where they go and they meet the farmer and he doesn't understand what he's saying, and then he has to have it go through several rounds of translation in order to get it.
He didn't get bloody lot away, boy.
No. They weren't going to anyway.
I would love to be a fly on the wall, though, and listen to these two gentlemen have a conversation, because it does sound very jovial and friendly and bubbly. It sounds like a very warm accent. I would anticipate that someone with this accent is friendly. Next up, very excited to do this one, we're going to be listening in on Mickey Flanagan and Kathy Burke to hear some examples of the Cockney accent. This is one of those accents that is very well represented in American media, so we're gonna see if they've been doing a proper Cockney in our movies or if we've been fed a lie all these years. Do you think Dick Van Dyke accurately represented the Cockney accent?
I'm just gonna put this out there, probably not.
It's up to people like me to keep it going. Because as you know, the Cockney loves to walk about. He likes to look about. Let's have a little look about it.
You know, people need to have a laugh, and I do think it's a proper job. And I went through a long time of feeling very guilty, you know. Oh, God, you know what I mean? All I'm doing is putting on silly hats and strapping my bosoms down. And
so, really strong emphasis on the vowels, and then if there's the ending letter, you kind of don't say that one.
Yeah, a lot. Okay, so I did notice the glottal. He does glottal T's a lot, like about.
He likes to look about.
I went through a long time of feeling very guilty.
Guilty.
So she did the glottal T in that one, guilty.
Very different from the Cockney accent we've heard in TV and movies, that's for sure.
I would say it's almost easier to understand than the one we've heard represented in media. The one we've heard represented in movies and stuff is just so exaggerated.
Real quick, if you haven't already, make sure you watch part 1 of this video right here and click subscribe so that you don't miss any of the future accent videos that we're going to be doing.
Also, if you have any recommendations for accents that we should include in future videos, please drop those down below and include a link that is a good example of somebody speaking with that accent.
And now we're going to turn the conversation over to you. If you have any thoughts about these accents, any tips that you could give us to help us identify the differences between them, make sure you drop those down in the comments below. As you know, our favorite part about doing this YouTube channel is learning from you in the comments. This is a learning adventure, so hop on the train and let's learn together.
All right.
All right. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Grace.
We're the Wandering Ravens.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Auf Wiedersehen, pet.